What's up? What's up? What's up? It is Wind Down Wednesday, okay? Just trying to see what is going to get us through the rest of this week, honey. Heather. Hey, Roxy. Okay, so listen, y'all. I have been on Wind Down Wednesday. We have been on Zoom inside of the 2.0 University. We have been doing our Wind Down Wednesday since 10:30, okay? And so our conversation was getting so good and so deep. I was like, let's go on IG Live. So we are getting ready to continue our Wind Down Wednesday. Like I said, we already been on inside the 2.0 University. Girl, you got to get in if you ain't in, okay? But, so I'm going to bring my people up. Roxy, you ready? Let me try to see if I could request her.
Girl, get the wine out. Get the wine out. Well, hello, hello. You turned on the light?
How do I do this? Hey, girl.
What you trying to do?
Hold on.
A filter?
No, it says share the video. Okay, I don't know what I'm seeing. I haven't been on this in a little bit. Can you see me?
I really can just see like your forehead, actually.
Oh.
Y'all up late. Yes, Heather, girl, we up. I'm up working. I'm up sending out emails. I've been sending out emails. We've been on Wind Down Wednesday. Oh, oops. Yeah, it's cracking. So, like I said, we were on Wind Down Wednesday. Roxy, real quick, just let the people know a little bit about. Oh, there goes Sadie. Woo woo. You ready, girl? So, Roxy and Sadie, like I said, why my phone keep falling? So, like I said, we was on Wind Down Wednesday on Inside of 2.0 University, and so now they're going to join me in my live. So let's request Sadie. Okay, girl, it say you unable to join. I don't know what that means, but anyway, you want to try one more time, Sadie? Can you try to request me? I mean, not request me, but request to join the live.
Heather said, we up late. Right?
But Roxy, that's what I'm saying. Tell them we always be up late.
I don't listen. I should be snoring. Like usually, I'm snoring by now.
No, girl, I was talking about. Never mind. Sadie said, "Why? What do you mean? Why? Why I can't request you or what?" Let me try again. It just said it's unable to join. Can you try to request me? Can you try to request to join the live? All right. I don't know. Is she leaving? Well, Sadie, you've joined me before, right? I feel like you've requested. You've been on my lives like a whole bunch of times. Oh, shout out to J.R. Rickman in the building. Woo woo. You out there on the road? I don't know if y'all saw my live from last night, but J.R. Rickman joined me in the live. He was from his truck. He is a driver trying to figure out how to grow and scale his business as well. Okay, he's trying to get out the truck. All right, I think Sadie is on her way. I think Sadie is joining. Okay, she said, hold on. So anyway, Roxy, he said yes, he on the road. Okay, be safe out there, JR. So listen, you might want to hear about this because we were just okay, so she left. I don't know. Anyway, Roxy, go on ahead, girl. Let's tell the people about what we were talking about before. I was asking you because I don't. Just go ahead. I don't know how much you want to share.
What were we discussing? We were talking about
We
we
were talking about the
listen,
credit
we spoke about
repair,
so many
and then
things.
I know.
We spoke about
And
so
then you
many
said
things.
you wanted to do something else. We were talking about the credit repair, and then you was
Oh
like,
yes,
I feel like
yes.
I want to do something.
Yeah, so yeah, we're talking about the credit repair, the importance of really financial literacy because there's so much things centered around financial literacy and credit repair is just, one of them. Um, and one of the things like I remember that I spoke about before is that I'm originally from Jamaica. Came here to do college around 19. And so when I came here, I didn't know anything about what credit was, what a social security card was, and all that kind of stuff. Back in Jamaica, everything we use is cash. We don't really utilize credit cards, which, it's different now. But back then, it sure that didn't look like now. And so of course I had to learn, okay, what is this, how to utilize this. I had some things that took place with my social because I just literally had it just in the apartment, and it was utilized by a very close friend. And I got a call like, hey, you have this bill, and I'm like, what bill? And learned that something was taken out in my without me knowing. And then
Mm.
something again happened in with a member. So I learned the hard way, and of course realized that this is something that can really go a far way in terms of affecting you. And so I had to learn how to secure this. And then of course learning how to build credit, right? By, of course, opening bills and utilities. Those are first little basic things that you can do. And as parents, we can do an awesome thing by adding our kids onto our credit cards at an early age. They'll allow you to do that
Mm.
by adding them as an authorized user. But I always want to say if your credit is not looking to 100, you don't want to put them on because you're just going to make things worse for them. So be very careful when you try to attempt to do that. Make sure you're in a place where your stuff is really in a good look. It's looking good before you do that. Yeah, credit is definitely important in in America.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's 111.
It's what?
111.
Okay. Yeah, credit is
I'm
definitely
sorry.
important in America,
Oh,
girl.
it went away.
You're on the
Yeah.
Eastern time. Yeah, listen, everything is run by this credit thing, so you gotta have that together. I mean, it runs literally. Cash is king, but credit is power. You
Right.
know.
So tell us a little bit about the steps that you had to take, because it sounds like you're saying that you were a victim of identity theft.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how were you able to overcome that and then what, like rebuild your credit and
Mhm.
like bring it back
Yes.
up or like what happened?
Yeah. So victim of identity theft, and then pretty much had to build because there really
Mm.
wasn't anything really to start from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, everyone start from a level and then of course build themselves up. And so I had to learn. I pretty much called up the bureau and said, hey, this is what happened. What are the things that I can do to prevent this from happening? Just basic languages, not knowing that, okay, there is a prevention system or a security system. And so what they did was literally to close it and flag it. So if anyone is trying to, part of my voice is going in now, but if anyone is trying to make any attempts, you can actually put an alert on there. So if there's any kind of activity or any kind of fraudulent thing, someone's trying to pretty much use your information, you will
Mm.
be alerted.
Okay.
And so that will prevent that from happening. Or you could pretty much put
So
a on your on your social. So
Mm.
even you
Okay.
yourself, it can affect you too. So if you want to do something, you literally can't open any accounts because it's not going to allow you. You have to take that off. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something you could do. That's something that I did. And then, of course, once I relocated, of course, I got utilities in my name. So that started to help to build my credit. The more utilities I had, that helped. Cards, credit, getting myself a credit card, that's the first way, right? They'll start you out at what, 250 back in the days, 500, they'll start you out at. And then, of course, based on your usage, paying that off each month, it will automatically get increased. So that's the key to make sure that you're clearing that off. And you don't have to literally like max the card out. You use what you can afford. And so if that's $20, you use that $20 and you pay that $20 off. And if you want to, I used to tell my clients, if you're not able to pay that clear off and get that balance to a zero, do not use your card. Do not
Mm.
use your card unless you know you can go home and literally put that money back on there. So stick to your budget. Don't get excited when that limit is going up and you're like, yeah, I have more free cash. It's not free cash. You got to pay that. So those are just some little things, ways to build your credit to start
Okay.
off.
All
Mhm.
right. That's amazing. I love that. So right before we got off, you were actually, I think, getting ready to share something else about a little bit like a new passion that you have. Oh, is this Sadie ready to join?
Yeah,
So do
it's
you want
working.
to talk a little bit more about that, or what do you think?
Yeah. We can definitely go into that. I discovered. Ooh,
I don't even get it. I can't get online with my.
okay,
Listen, no wonder she couldn't join.
okay.
No wonder
All
you was
this about
unavailable.
Cozy in my robe.
Sadie
what?
said, "Look,
She had to like
Okay, I
put
appreciate that. I can't get online on my laptop, and that's very frustrating.
first of all, Destiny.
Okay, oh, see, I
oh,
can
I
see my.
can't."
First of all, Destiny, like I am a changed person. This wouldn't have happened 2 years ago. I would literally have to go doll myself up. So this is like a different you talking to here.
Yeah,
Like this is no filter, Roxy. Like look at this.
girl, we love it. We love it. And so, with that being said, please
First of all,
share
Destiny.
with us this
First,
newfound. You was gonna talk about a new passion, something that's been like
go doll
motivating you,
myself
pushing
up.
you.
So this is like a different you talking to here.
Why is there like an echo?
Like this is no filter, Roxy. Like look at this.
Do you hear an echo, Roxy? Oh, with that being said, please share with us this new Roxy. You can talk about a new passion, something that's.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Why is there like a why
That's me.
Say, what are you doing?
You want to mute it? You want to mute it, Sadie?
She left. Oh,
It should be back. Yeah. So
Sadie, come back.
come back, Sadie. So when I had my last baby, my surprise baby, the pregnancy was really, really rough. I was literally sick for the entire pregnancy. Well, first of all, I didn't even know I was pregnant till I was like 2 months, 3 months in. Um, like we literally just got the house and unpacking, trying to, get everything situated. And, I was like 12 feet up in the air on the ladder doing things, putting up curtains, and I did not know that I was pregnant until I'm like, wait, I'm not feeling right. My legs are swelling up, like they're numbing up. I'm feeling really sick. This is unusual. And then I did a test and I was just like, just really surprised. Usually it would take me about like 8 to 12 months to literally try to get pregnant, but this was just like, bam, it was different. And so I felt really unprepared. There were things that I had in place in terms of with my business and everything that it literally just switched up because of course, how sick I was. I couldn't really work and function. And so anyhow, I had Zach, which was a successful delivery. Thank God. There were really no complications. Thank God. Um, and so about like I want to say, I can't remember how many months in, but I realized that something was different. Um, and luckily that I had like a good, a good support system, which was my godmother. I had to call her and say, "Hey, I noticed that these are some things I'm experiencing. What is this?" And hey, beautiful, you guys. So she was able to let me know that you have and what you're experiencing is PPD. I mean, I called her frantically. Now, it wasn't a calm call. It was just like a crying calling, like, what's this? This has been happening.
Postpartum depression.
Yes, PPD, postpartum depression. Um, and so I'm like,
Hey
what?
Sadie, real quick, just for those of you that just joined, we've been on Wind Down Wednesday inside of the 2.0 University, and so we were like, hey, this is a really good conversation. Let's bring it over to IG Live. So here we are. Sadie then went and got dolled up, made up.
Okay,
She is like ready,
Pam,
honey.
exit.
One,
No, you look
We
amazing.
don't
You look
all just
beautiful.
have that gorgeous glow. I'm sorry. We
Yeah.
some of us work.
So hey Sadie, okay, so Roxy is just telling us about her journey. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you off, but I just wanted
right.
to
So I found
say
out
this.
about the postpartum depression. Didn't really know what it was. I've heard, of course, the term many times, just didn't know the details of it. Um, and so I had to get professional help to pretty much navigate my days and just functioning if successfully, around my baby and making sure that I'm just doing the right thing and being my best self and everything else that I had going on and being a good wife and just, showing up and still being able to function daily, right? So I got that, had to get that professional assistance, which helped tremendously. Um, but I realized that, hey, this is like, there really wasn't a resource, like a quick resource. And I felt like if I didn't have probably my godmother to talk to, I'm not sure what would have happened to me, to be honest. And so I'm like, okay, how is it, can we really talk more about mental health? I know there's different aspects of it, whether it's postpartum depression, it's depression, it's whatever else. There's so many areas of it. How can we really have more discussions about it openly without feeling shameful or, like something is wrong or try to hide it? Like, how can just like financial literacy or credit, like these are not conversations that we sit around at a barbecue and talk about money. Like no one's talking about their money issues, no one's talking about their mental health issues. Like these should be conversations that are normalized, um in my opinion.
Amen. Yes, girl, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. That is exactly the whole thing. That's why I'm trying to shift into this whole like I don't want to say shift, but I'm trying to add this new digital product, how to turn your passions into profits because it's so important. It's important too, right? And like as you start getting with God and talking to God, after we take the Mama 2.0 challenge, and God starts talking to you, and you know what I'm saying, you interacting, and you're getting all of these downloads, and He's giving you your purpose. Your purpose is becoming more known. Like just how you said, first it was credit, but look, I had a life experience, and now I have a whole new perspective on things. I overcame something else. I have a whole new thing that's important to me, a whole new passion. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so we really live in a time right now where you literally can turn your passions into profits, turn your pain into your purpose. And That's what, you know. So I love hearing you share that. You're absolutely right. Like, and that's why I'm doing that because I want to be able to, when we're inside the 2.0 university, I want to have conversations where all we do is talk about money. All we do is talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's learn about stocks, real estate, investments. I'm going to be bringing you guys interviews, you know what I'm saying, from these experts so that we can literally, like, when we talk about reaching the next level, it's on all planes. It's not just spiritual, it's
Mm,
not just praying and affirming all day. You got to take some action. You got
okay.
to build a community. You have to have a network. You have got to be helping someone else. That's the only way, you know what I'm saying? You get to, that takes you out of what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? And then you start building an impact.
Exactly.
So I love that. I love that you are, you know what I'm saying? You want to tap into both markets, right? And now, you know, I don't know if you want to share all your business and stuff, but now is like a really good time to like bet on yourself. Literally, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It
there's
seems to be
nothing
that
stopping you,
you already know.
huh?
you it seems to be the direction because you already know like like just
Yeah.
keep it real. Like I tried to really get my foot back into the corporate world, and there's so many things that I'm working on with me and my husband, and businesses that we're trying to do. And of course, you want to have the capital, you want to do this, you want to do all these so many things. And I'm like, okay, this is something I could do. I mean, the opportunity presented itself, and I'm not gonna shy away from any opportunity. And so I went in, and I'm like, okay, already was making plans, and it just didn't work out. And one of the things I said was, okay, God, let me know, like, direct. This is for me. I know it will work, and if not, I know that you have other things and other ways you're gonna definitely steer me to where I need to be. And so, as disappointed as I'm not gonna say was, but am, I know that it just wasn't for me. It's not for me. So, and I've been there before where I thought that, a marriage was for me and it wasn't for me. And it was really hard to navigate that divorce and that reality. And look what happened, like months later, literally, like, it's
As
crazy.
soon as you let it go,
Like,
as soon as you let go, as soon
yeah.
as you surrender, as soon as you, because remember that's what I was saying earlier. Like, we have it, the quicker we are like thankful for the experience, the quicker we are like seeking the lesson, the faster we get to the result that we want.
Hmm.
You know, as opposed to dwelling on like the negative aspect of it, or just
Yeah.
um, because I shared that affirmation earlier. Like when I'm just going through it, I'm just like everything. What was it? No, my goals and dreams are coming into reality. How they will come to pass is not my business.
Not
It's
my
God's
business.
business, right? And I really have to say that sometimes, like, with anger, just like it, or with sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm happy. I say it when good stuff comes through, and even when bad, I just be like, my goals and dreams are coming into reality. How they will come to pass is not my business. It's God's business, and I might have to say it like 10 times, 15 times, whatever I need to do in that moment to just be like we were talking about being in the moment to get through that moment.
Yeah, but I gotta give it up to you, like Destiny. You're always nudging me, like, girl. Like you're always like, I'm not gonna say on me, but it's a good like nudge.
Yeah.
So, just trying to really, I have so many distractions. Like that is my thing right now. Like to get focused. Like you need to get focused. You have this to do, you have that to do. Like I have, well, actually not me, but we have a business that we're literally putting into place for my husband. It's really centered around him and his cybersecurity and all that kind of thing that he does. And that's the business that we're working on getting off the ground. So there's a lot of work that we're putting into that. But this would be like, you know, for me, like my thing. And so I feel like, okay, this is something I really need to really get going and get done. So
Okay.
we'll
Well,
be
we're gonna do, huh?
we'll be getting it done. We'll be doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna do all that.
Hmm.
Sadie, what are your thoughts on that? I see you said PPD needs to be more of a mainstream discussion.
Yes, it does. I will say, like, the whole financial thing is, is huge. And I think I'm going to touch on that a little bit. I think we all, like, in high school, they should have that kind of, like, like they start doing that, like, you see, like, it's like this big deal with professional sports. Let's teach them financial. It's like that needs to be way done before, not just for financial, like for sports, famous, things. I think it really should be taught in high school on how to manage and you know, um, back in the day, you got allowance. You're like, you got to spend it or you don't. You can save it or you won't. All that. It's the same. It's kind of the concept that they needed to bring into, school, because I know when I went to college, it was like the first 2 weeks they were like, get a free beach towel, sign up for a credit card, and like I just wanted the free beach towel, and so I signed up. They gave me a credit card, and then it's like you just, at that point, I mean, aging myself, but you swipe and it's money. It's swipe, hey, it works. The concept of where that money comes from and you have to pay it back is lost on so many, even adults. But like, thinking of like, I had no concept of the worth of money, and so I'm going to touch on that just, but on the whole postpartum, that touches me because I had two like horrendous pregnancies, and one of the things that I felt like was like no one said anything about all like the highs and the lows. I actually was upset about it. Like afterwards, I would look at my friends who had babies before me and going like, you guys are all liars. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't great. You didn't have that beautiful picture. It was like no one talks about it. And so, which then I think also makes it so that everyone feels like they're alone going through it, because no one says, hey, there might be this, and hey, there might be this. And, you know, um, I didn't know my family history, so a lot of the things that came up was unexpected, so there wasn't like the precautionary in my first pregnancy. We know that this runs in your family, so we're going to be extra careful on that. But after listening to, Kat today and talking about her journey, it let me know that other women have gone through it, and they don't know other women are going through it, and I didn't speak about any of it. And so my first pregnancy, I didn't know that my family history had a very diabetic history. And so by the time they test you for just gestational diabetes, I had already reached like 60 pounds. I bypassed the whole 30-pound pregnancy before they even tested me for gestational diabetes. And so, and I had,
Wait, what? Okay.
huh?
I'm sorry.
Who'd she laughing at?
No, go ahead. No. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I was just saying, I had gone through.
Don't let me
Right.
up and shoot.
What are you laughing at?
Right.
What? You're making me cough.
No.
It's not you, Sadie. I don't know
No,
what's up with
Sadie.
Destiny. It's too late.
No, it's
No,
What's
it's
Destiny?
Sadie. It's just me. It's just the alcohol. It's just the wine.
I don't know.
too much wine.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Interesting.
Anyway, I was saying like I think it's more like women. It should be more of a mainstream talk because people. I know I didn't share any of mine, and I thought it was all about me and like the gaining of the weight, the um, the difficulties I had, and then everyone else was saying how easy it was. So um, I didn't share it even after the fact because everyone was like, "Oh," and a lot of my friends in particular were like, "I miss being pregnant. I love being pregnant." And I was miserable being pregnant. It was horrible for me, and so I didn't feel like I should share that because everyone was so happy about like the process, and so. Um, but anyway, I was just, I think it should be more of a discussion so women are more prepared and mentally as well as
Mm.
that.
I like that you said that. I like that you said that because I can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me? I feel like that's the part where we get. It's like we get like nobody told us.
Yeah.
It's like we just get hit by
Yeah.
like what in the world, right? And goes back to the fact that our mothers, right, the generation before us, they just didn't know how to express those types of emotions to be able to say, "Hey, you know what? I was stressed out after I had you too."
Yeah.
They wasn't calling it postpartum depression 2, 3 generations ago. Our grandmothers and stuff. So we definitely need these communities. We need the support. Like how like it's so obvious. Like you know what I'm saying? We are thriving inside of these communities based on whatever our focus is. If we call it like a niche or just being able to pull somebody else up out of a situation that you were able to pull yourself up out of. Like, see how Roxy now you're thriving. You know what I'm saying? Life is great. You traveling. You this and the third. But it's somebody else out there that is like where you were
Yeah.
a year ago, 6 months ago. That time ago. That just wants to hear like Roxy, girl, what did you do? How did you do it?
Exactly.
So I mean, it takes work. It takes a little bit of work, but all you really have to do is just package it up, nice, pretty, and be able to say, "Hey, this is what I did. This
It
is what
takes
I did, girl. Let me show you how to do it too." That's all I did with the Mama 2.0 challenge. Literally, the affirmations in there, it's real affirmations I had written down in my journal. I had typed up in the notes in my phone. And so, do you have things like that, Roxy, through this whole experience where you up late at night researching, YouTubing articles? Like,
I have
what was that process like for
stuff
you?
for my so I have stuff definitely for my credit business. Um
Yep.
like credit tips, like all the articles, all the stuff. Like I have so much resources. I just need to really put it together.
Hmm.
But of course nothing in terms of for the mental health. Like I would have to definitely partner with my godmother who is a psychologist to definitely come in and do something alongside with that. And I'm sure she would be very excited to do that. We've talked about it so many times. So I feel
Yeah.
like it needs to be like done.
Mm.
We could help a lot of people because I'm telling you, I don't know where I would be. Just
And what do you think about that, Sadie?
About her. You're so funny.
No, just about an experience that you were able to overcome. You
You
know what
know,
I mean? In
I'm so
mommyhood or something where you can be able to hold somebody else's hand and say, girl, because you see, Roxy's like, listen, I can help you with credit. I'm gonna help you with PPD. Like Um,
think it's more of like I was saying, like
hey
explaining
Everett.
pregnancy situation is just kind of being more open about the process, and that your family history does come into play, and knowing your family history can actually prevent a lot of things to happen. My first pregnancy, it was on the fly. There was a lot of complications. um, I went in for like a protein check and thought like, okay, they'll just do a 24-hour protein check, and I never left the hospital. And, um, it it was a very long, I ended up having like emergency C-section. My epidural or that they gave me didn't work, so they couldn't give me any more. Um, I never dilated past 2 millimeters, even though they gave me the pitocin. I was going through the contractions and feeling the pain, like I was actually having the baby, but I wasn't having. Nothing was happening, and so it was a long process and scary process. And then they couldn't get my vitals down to do the C-section. So like, the baby was in distress, and there was a lot of things going on for your first baby. Again, I was like, this was over 100-pound pregnancy, and so once my son was my first was delivered, it was I was older mom, and then I had 2 miscarriages trying to have my daughter. And then so I gained 100 pounds. I never had a chance to lose it. So the self-esteem and all of that, and like um and then having the 2
Right.
miscarriages, never like gaining that, and then having my daughter, they were very like, most of it was during the, so I got to see the whole trial because I couldn't get out of bed. So I was just there. But, with her, it was like an after effect, so they were trying to be very careful. I had a scheduled C-section. I still gained more weight. I still had preeclampsia. I still had, like my son, I had HELP syndrome where it was like dangerous to both.
Wow.
And so they were trying
Right.
to prevent it with her. So once they had the C-section with her, that's where things started coming, where it was like I never had time to have postpartum with my son, because I was trying to have another baby. I was trying to, because of my age. And so I was just so focused on that and being a new mom. But when I had her, it was, that was more difficult because my blood pressure wouldn't go down. Um, they actually had me lay down because they knew they couldn't get my blood pressure down. They had me lay down and do things where, now looking back, I know a little bit more about like how to handle. I truly believe there's a thing about women of color with medicine.
Right.
They
Exactly. And see, and that's
believe,
exactly what I'm saying. Like, you've had these experiences, you've had
yeah,
these things that you were able to come out of, and right, and now you're able to show somebody else who
I would
is
tell
like
somebody
pregnant
like,
or
what, for what, and I feel that we're stronger. Our pain is not as serious, And so what I had learned to do was say, I ask for what I need, and they say, "Yo, no, no, no," and I just say, "Okay, can you please notate that I requested this test?" And then once you kind of say that, they around because it's now documented thing, and they denied it, and so I learned that through that pregnancy and going forward, where I felt like I wasn't being heard, and what I was feeling with my body wasn't being translated to the doctors, and so it happened where after my daughter, unfortunately, like they sent me home. They had me laid down because of my blood pressure, so the blood pressure would come out normal so they could send me home to release me. um, when I got home within 24 hours, my C-section opened up And
Weird. I mean,
I admit it.
what is something?
When you go back to the hospital, you can't bring your baby. So now that you're out of the maternity ward, it's like you're back in just normal, like, you know, colds. It's not as warm and fuzzy as the maternity ward, and so I couldn't see my baby during that time, and they couldn't get my blood pressure down. That was the time when they said, and I was bawling, and I had my postpartum start in the hospital there, and I was a mess, and I refused antidepressants because I just was like, no, 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 no. I actually ended up going ahead and going on the blood pressure medicine and antidepressants because my goal was to be back home with my baby, and I was like, I'll do whatever. They our insurance at the time was very good. So, so we had in home, the nurse would come in and take care of the baby at the house because my husband traveled 3 weeks out of the month and he wasn't there, and so they baby with me.
Okay, so yeah, so do you see how you have right? So
Yeah,
there's
so there
so
wasn't
many different dynamics
at home.
that you literally
Yeah,
would be able to,
so it's hard.
so
And
many
then
different
it's I
aspects
think it's
of.
the shame. There's like the shame of telling someone, oh, I have all this, I'm feeling depressed and whatever. I'm actually got sent back physically, but also mentally, and now I'm not with my baby. And people wondering why can't and
So,
and asking for support, you tend to go in and go, oh my
Is it
gosh,
breaking up? Is it choppy a little bit?
huh? Can you hear me?
Oh, no, I think it was breaking up
Oh,
a little bit.
I was just saying, so it's like a lot of the time for help is hard because you're thinking of this, like you're not doing the motherly things, the parent thing that they expect you to do, and to ask people to help you, you feel like you're not doing your job. So I think the more we talk about it, becomes a community, like
Exactly. Right, and that's the thing. It's
doing
just a
them. So
dialogue. We just want to open up the dialogue about it because so many women feel like we were saying, like they can't talk about it or something is wrong or it's not normal, to be requesting these things in the middle of these dire situations, in the hospital. So I love it. I love the interview with Katian and Lakeisha earlier, and just everything that you both are saying about how important it is to just raise the awareness that listen, girl, don't do it.
and like when
That's what I
something
would
is
tell
something is
somebody.
not right.
Just
Like
don't have no kids, girl. I'm just playing. Huh?
No, I was saying that when something is not right. Like especially when you had
Right.
two other kids before, and you're like, wait,
Hmm.
I didn't really go through it. This is definitely different. Like when something is really, really, really not right. And you have to. That's the thing where you have to be really honest with yourself because I mean, I felt like there were signs before, but I was just like, okay, no, I'm okay. I got this. Like, like just brushing it off, but it got really bad to the point where I wasn't able to do that anymore, and that's when I was like, oh, something is going on. Like, what is this? You know?
So, what was it that kind of sort of made you realize that this might be postpartum depression?
Well, I didn't know what it was.
Hmm.
I literally thought, I just knew something was wrong with me. Um, I knew that it was definitely out of my character or anything. Like, so having thoughts to harm your baby is not okay. Like, having thoughts to harm your baby is not okay. I mean, that's not normal. Is that normal? So no, like that was
Well,
not
that's the
okay.
thing. Like, is it like because you said that, and then I saw Sadie. She just was like, yeah, yeah.
The
Like,
reason
is that something?
I'll tell you is this is because she brought me back to a moment when my first, and he never slept. Now I know, now he's diagnosed with autism and everything, but like he was a colicky baby. He never slept, which then brought me of never sleeping, which brought your, lack of sleep brings the anxiety up. And so I just remembered with you saying that, I remember he's in his crib screaming, crying, and I just got to that level of mom, and I was like, I hate him. I hate him. Mom, is that horrible? I just hate him. Can you just stop him? And the question she asked me, Sadie, where is the baby? The baby's in the crib. Okay. Where are you? I'm in the living room. No baby died from crying. So you need to sit there, take the deep breaths, and realize the stress that you're under, and it's okay. And
Mhm.
he can cry, but you need to take those breaths. And I kept remembering just saying, I'm a horrible mom. I'm a horrible mom. Why do I love this baby? I hate this baby. I love this baby. I hate it because he just would not sleep. He would not like stop crying. He would not like, it was just like, and again, I was by myself, and he was colicky, never slept, and I was on that level. That's a story that took me a long time to share with people because it sounds horrendous. I think if I didn't have a kid and I didn't have that, and someone like, you hated your baby? No, I didn't hate my baby, but you're in that moment where it's just like, what do you do? And
Yeah, because I be having them moments, even as they become toddlers, and I be like, even when my daggone 9-year-old, he say some stuff, and
yeah,
I be like, oh, you want to talk to me like you a grown man? Because I can definitely
yeah, but
treat
it's
you
going
like one.
like you feel like saying these things. I shouldn't be feeling, but they are there. So it's like,
Yeah.
to share with someone, I said, I just, I hate him. It's like, he is a newborn. How can you hate a newborn? And it's not about that. It's a combination of going through postpartum, combination of the support system you have around you, you know, um, it's so much more. And so
And
we,
that's why we need to build these communities and let women know that they are
yeah,
not alone. Like, you're
and
not the only woman
like
that
that
had a
feeling,
newborn and felt like they hated it and felt
yeah, and
upset and felt angry and felt like, what am I doing? Why? Especially the first kid. You're like, my whole life is just, and
right.
that's the part that they don't tell us when we pregnant, and they're like, oh, you glowing and you pretty and you this, oh, you that, oh, baby shower, woo, woo, woo. Nah, girl, your whole life gonna change.
No, it is. And like, for me, I feel like if there is someone like, people behind me, women behind me that was like, if they came to me and said, I just hate, like, were able to say that, the response is just like, because, if I could never have said that to a friend, like, because, especially the ones who are like, I miss pregnant. Pregnancy is so great. Like,
Sometimes those are the same ones having issues too.
you're right,
Right. And I mean, and you just had it on this whole entire life. So that just shows the growth, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The maturity, the transformation, the healing is what it really shows. The fact that you can speak your truth
Hmm.
shows the healing behind it, you know?
One of the
So
things
don't
that
kill.
was one of the things that was really scary for me is after realizing, like, when that episode almost happened,
Hmm.
I was literally afraid to be around my baby because I didn't know who I was. I know that I wasn't, something was off, and I just was scared. And so my husband, like I expressed everything to him, and he would make sure that he's around, he's checking in, like he cleared his schedule. Thank God he was able to do that.
Oh, thank God you were able to talk to him about it and be open
Yeah,
with him because
that's
some women might not have even told their husband.
Yeah.
me.
Um, he heard the the yell out and whatever, so he was like, "What happened?" And I had to tell him. Um, but yeah, that part, like just looking at him and be like, how can this be? Like, what is this? I felt really like I didn't even want to touch him, look at him, because I was afraid to that if to that maybe I would act out and just didn't even know what the heck was happening. And it took me a while, and it was the saddest thing ever um to deal with. But I'm telling you, having two girls before and then having a boy who is just he's so incredible. He just wants his mommy all the time, and I'm the source of his milk and everything else. He just didn't want anyone but me to put him to bed, to whatever. So yeah, there was, that sleep deprivation taking place. I had my daughter who was doing virtual school. I have my husband who, works from home. And so I think what triggered it for me was just trying to pretty much contain his cries. Like, shh, 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 shh. You got baby girl upstairs doing her school, hubby's in his meetings. Okay, you can't cry. Shh, shh. Like I felt like the pressure to just not have him cry really, along with everything else, just triggered. Because I remember every time he cries, like I remember like I would just be spilling milk. Like I'm pouring the milk out. Like once he starts crying and I'm pouring the milk, I'll just pump. But I'm like, why am I just spilling darn milk everywhere? Just by a little cry. It triggered something. And I'm like, what? Like I didn't know, like, why am I spilling just for no reason? Just every time he cries, it did something to me. And so just a lot of observation afterwards. And I had to like take myself away. My therapist was like, you have to take yourself away. Whatever that 20 minutes, 30 minutes look like, you are taking yourself away. You sit and you talk to your support system, your husband, your daughter, and you let them know that they have to step up and they have to help you because this is the only way, you know? But for some people it just happens by surprise. I think for me, looking back, there were some things that were happening before that probably were in the category of depression before. Um, Probably like about 6 months into 8 months that I was battling with. And then of course the pregnancy being just like just surprised because everything I do is planned and strategic and whatever. And this was the first time I was ever dealing with something that I had literally no plan for, and I did not know what to do, how life was gonna. Let me not say because that divorce was the first one, but you know what I mean. Like a whole new life coming in and just switching everything up. I was like, yo. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm in a better place right now. There were just a lot of things happening back to back. And then I'm just so excited for you, Destiny and Mommy 2.0. Like you started that, what, last Mommy 2.0 the right time.
Yeah.
Like timing is everything. I mean, I literally went from one thing to the next to the next. It's like it was just an attack. I'm like, what? Like, whoa. But let me tell you, God is good. And what was set out to harm and hurt and destroy, I'm telling you, I'm still here standing, girl. Stronger than
Girl,
ever.
you better preach.
Hmm.
Okay? Listen. Oh man, that was
Yep.
beautiful, Roxy.
Yep.
Seriously, I had no idea all that was going on. I did not.
A lot.
I was
Yeah.
not expecting.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. And girl, I am just here for you. I am praying for you, that's why now I see why you just took to the challenge. You know, what you're saying you just came in, even though you came in a little bit later, but you still were just all in, like soaking it up. So dang, that's what's up, man. So I love that. Yeah, girl, you definitely should work with other moms that are going through that, or definitely that are going through it. I love that.
Yes.
That's amazing, Roxy, man. Because like you said, it hits you out of nowhere. You have no idea what is going on. And I get you, girl. It will just be the sound of the cry will literally just be like you will just be like mommy the monster would just come out of nowhere. So I get it. It will. Why you like to say? Cause those she come out, mommy the monster, and then you be like, "Ooh, what?
Oh, I see my girl Nikki's on.
Hey Nikki. Who's that? I cater
I
cakes.
cater cakes, yeah.
Yeah. Dang, Roxy. I just want to thank you so much for being so open and transparent and honest. Like you didn't even say that in the Zoom.
Nope.
See, right? Like none of that.
I know.
But yeah, IG Live would just bring it out of you. So yeah, I mean, so now that you said all of that, tell me a little bit about like how you were thinking, like what would that look like in terms of trying to help another mommy? Like what are your thoughts or ideas or visions when you think about, trying to make this turn your pain into your purpose?
Um, I mean, there's multiple, forums, whether it could be through writing a book, um,
Okay.
financial literacy wise, those could be ebooks, those could be little classes,
Yeah,
um,
I mean, it just depends on like what,
so
like you
many
want
kind
to
of
do that. You
ways.
want to do those things. You
Like
want to
one of
do those
my
things.
one of my goals is to have implemented the financial literacy classes like that. I feel like it needs to be a must. So that's really one of my big things. How can we get this implemented in schools? Um, so that's something I really want to work on, doing a curriculum and that
Mm,
kind of thing.
okay. Yeah. See, that's dope. That is dope. I mean, that is so dope. So let me
That's
ask
one
you this:
aspect.
What do you think
What
it
did Sadie
is that
say?
is
Oh,
holding
mine
you
too,
back?
girl.
I know.
Come from about that.
It's kind of cut out,
I
and you
know
think
it's
it's
late.
left.
It's late, past or bedtime.
Okay.
But
All right. One last question. One last question. What do you think it is that is holding you back from doing just that? Like what you said you wanted to do. Like what is stopping you?
Nothing is stopping me. Um, Absolutely nothing. But what is as I said before, there's just some distractions. I guess I'm putting more energy into getting the business off that my husband is doing. So that's where I'm putting all my energy and just want to get that done with. And then I can just really focus on this because he's done so much for me. I want to really plug into getting his stuff all in. And we're almost
Absolutely.
finished with that.
Yeah.
We're almost done with that.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, our music got out all of a sudden.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, I am just so. Oh, she left. Sadie left. So yeah,
It's
once
okay.
again, Roxy, I just wanted to thank you again. Like I said, girl, we're gonna send you all types of prayers, and we can do a devotional together if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really my answer to everything right now in this day and age is
Yes.
the scripture, The
There's
word
no
is
other
you got to
way.
speak God's word back to him. Yeah, like you literally gotta like be like, listen, you said this, you
Maniki.
said this, and
Yeah, there's no
huh?
other way. I
Oh, excuse me,
mean,
we air like this. Yeah.
there's absolutely no other way. I mean, I know for sure.
All right. Yeah. So the scripture was able to help bring you out of it, right?
hmm God's word. And just remembering, the journey, with that divorce, that just holding on to everything, like just always looking back and knowing he did it then, he gonna do it again. Like he will and forever always. Like I'm a child of God.
Amen. I am God's favorite. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on that note, yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and go to bed. It's super duper late. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Bedtime.
joining the Wind Down Wednesday. Thank you for coming on to IG Live. Thank you, Sadie. Whoop whoop.
Hey
So
girl.
yeah, I will see y'all. I'll be back tomorrow on live, and then yeah, we'll be
Awesome.
we'll be communicating tomorrow. I got to talk to you guys about the 12 days of Christmas and stuff. So
Awesome. Have a good night. It was awesome
you
being on.
too, love. I love you so
Okay.
much. Thank you.
Mwah.